Hello, you guys, and thank you for joining me here on Life Enchanted. You have joined your girl Takela Swain, and I am so excited to be able to join you today to talk on our subject matter. Today, I want to talk about the importance of keeping your dreams alive. And the way that we can actually do that is by keeping our dreams and our goals before us. The other day I was walking through the park and I noticed that there was an extra amount of construction workers there within the facilities. And I know that they have been doing like a lot of construction because they're doing some changes for that particular area. But this particular day, it seemed to have been like an influx. I was like, everywhere you look around, you see the vests and the helmets, right? And so, as I was going down this particular area, it is just so surreal to go down it because it's almost like you're walking in a storybook. It has a paved way that you walk on, but on each side are these beautiful huge trees that has like all the autumn colors and things like that for the leaves, and they're all like hovering over you, and it's just so beautiful and so calming to walk down. So I was just enjoying the moment until I came to this particular area. And in this particular area, I know that they were cutting down trees, but it's almost as if somebody got super happy and decided that they're just going to tear down the whole second half of the forest. And so when I went down there, my heart just sank. I was like, oh my goodness, like where's the environment that I'm used to? The whole atmosphere is like different. It feels different now in walking down there. And so I ran into one of my friends that, when you are regular, you end up in making your own little groups of friends. And so Mark, I ran into, and he was just like, "Can you believe it?" And I said, "Believe what?" And he said, he said the tree. I was like, "Oh yeah." I saw it. I was like, "Oh my goodness, it's so disheartening. I can't believe it." He said, "Man, I was talking to my friend Rick, and he was like, they know they could have done this differently. We know that they were having issues with the watering system, but something else could have happened. Something else could have taken place to sort of prepare us for the dramatic change that is now before us." And so, as we talked a little bit more, and then we both went on our merry ways. But as I got a little farther, I realized that it was even greater than what I initially had saw the other day. And so, right at the very beginning, before you transition over to the devastating image, there was a new sign that was placed there. And the sign showed pictures of like where we currently were, how things were going to change while they were doing the transitions over. And then it was some pictures that showed you what it would look like in the future from like a month's time, a year's time, and then some years beyond that period. And when I saw that, I said, "Oh, somebody's being very strategic because they're trying to evoke us to support the process that they're doing, and they're showing us that even though it looks really chaotic, even though it looks a little crazy right now, keep holding on because if you do, you will be able to see the final product that is going to be here in some time, but it's going to take some time to actually get there." And so when I saw that, I was like, I'm glad. Even though I knew what was going on, I was delighted to see what was going to look like once they got done, because I was getting a little discouraged. Like, oh my gracious. I was like, they tore down everything. It's going to be so horrible. I'm not going to be able to walk out here anymore. But when I bought myself back in and got myself together, I realized that this process truly was indeed the same process that Jacob actually had to undergo when he was tricked by his father in law when he was deciding to depart. Now, what happened was, we all know that Jacob indeed was a trickster himself. But when he met his father in law, he indeed met his match, because he had been betrayed on multiple occasions by his father in law, even from the very beginning of the marriage process. And so, even though some of the areas weren't mentioned or outlined in the Bible, we are very aware that when you meet a person of that statue, they don't just try to trick you once or twice. It's a habitual process. So I'm pretty sure there were multiple times throughout that time of him being on that land that he was indeed tricked. So this very last part, Jacob looked around and he was like, we are growing a lot. It's so much going on. Laman, we can barely keep all of his animals and things together, and then all of our children and our wives and things. We need to have some land of our own. So he went to his father-in-law like, "Listen, I have enjoyed my time here, but I really need to go. I need to establish something for your daughters and your grandchildren so that we can have something that we can call our own." And Laman was just like, nah, that's okay. If you need more land, we'll spread out some more. That'll be good. And he was like, no, dude, I want to try to have my own, and I've been good to you. I've took care of your sheep and your goat and all those things like that. I really have done a great deal by you. It's only right that you would do what's right for me. So he was like, okay, what do you want? And he said, well, I really want you to be able to give me all of the sheep and the goats that are like either lame or has stripes and specks and all those things like that. You're really not going to get that much for them anyway, because everybody want like the pure bloods and all that. He said, so I would take that as my portion and you can keep all your other items. I just need something to get started with. So Laman said, okay, yes, I will indeed do that. You're great. I appreciate it. But now he didn't go real easy now, because initially he told him, he was like, nah, y'all don't need to go nowhere. He said, I know that I've been blessed because of you. So if you leave, like, what is going to leave me? But after some persuasion, finally he agreed. Well, true to his nature, as soon as Jacob rode out, he ended up calling his sons like, listen, go get all of the ones that look exactly like this. These are the ones he said he want in order for them to leave. If we go ahead and move them out, then there's no way he can leave, right? So he said, y'all go ahead and take them, go put them on a pasture a couple of miles out so he won't find them. But, still leave the regular ones out there so when he goes, he'll realize like, hey, he got to stay. So Jacob goes there and he looks and he realized he like, that dude done got me again. He was like, I don't believe it. Like, how can he keep doing this to me? But Jacob said, you know what? That's cool. I got another plan. He knew that he needed to produce more in order to provide for his family. So he started looking at how the animals actually went through their mating process. And he noticed that at certain times when they were, the stronger ones actually went after a certain particular breed. So he started putting the image before them that he wanted to see produced. And so he put it at their watering troughs. And of course, they always went there for water. So every time they went there and anytime they made it, they saw this particular image. And so the image that he outlined was indeed that in which they produced. So as time went on, they ended up producing more of the ones that he had originally asked for. And so he was able to separate them from the ones in which he was leaving there for Laban. And so as time went on, they started realizing, they're like, wait a minute now. He started out with 2. Now he got just as many as we have, if not more. What is going on? But what they didn't know was that he came up with a plan. He had a goal that he said, if I go ahead and put this in front of them, they're going to produce what it is that I want. And the same thing is very true for us. Even though 2020 has been a massive year in so many aspects, from the good, the bad, and the ugly, it has happened. However, it does not mean that you cannot still push forward towards your goals and dreams that you have outlined for this particular year. We still have 2 months left. There's still things that you can put into place that will enable you to move closer and further along than you currently are if you keep that goal before you. So just like with Jacob, it did take some time in order for him to build back up what it is that he wanted. It didn't just happen overnight because, of course, it was the breeding process. But as time went on, he was able to get what it is that he wanted. Same thing for my park. Even though right now it's in disarray and we're just like, what is going on here? We know that if we continue to allow them to do the construction that's needed, that we are going to see progression in the process that will enable us to see that soon things will be able to return back to an environment that we know or we welcome. And so, but it's going to take some time. We have to be open to that process. So the same is true for us. We have to be open to the process that no, it may not happen all at the end of this year as we initially desired, but if we continue to put different things into place, if we continue to invest in ourselves and invest our times in things that are really going to be productive, then we indeed will get what it is that we want if we keep it there before us. Now, if we get distracted by the other things that's happening, I know like today's election day and things like that, and some people are like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Bottom line is whoever's going to get in the office is going to get in the office. But that doesn't mean that things are going to drastically change for you. It could if you allow it in a negative way, or it could do so in a positive way if you allow it. It really all starts with you. You have to really invest in yourself and keep putting your goals and aspects before you so that you will know what it is that you're working towards, especially when you have chaotic things going on around you. because they can become distractions and they'll pull you here, there, and the other. And if you're not careful, time will go by and you're still in the same place. So please do try to keep your goals before you, even if it feels like it's in disarray around you. Do know that, like I said, time will go forward. Whether you do or not is truly up to you. So I hope that you are going to be on that latter end so that you can be one that will accomplish your goals, even if they had to get a little facelift in the process. All right. So I thank you guys so much for joining me here today. It's a little different doing it in the afternoon than the morning, but I had a couple of things to do in the morning. But I am still overjoyed that you guys have joined me. I always tell you guys to like, subscribe, and share. But if you want to do one of the three, I ask that you will share, because your sharing allows other individuals to get the nuggets of wisdom and to compare it according to their current manner of thinking and being, and help them to decide whether or not it's something that they need to revamp or to think about again, so that they can get the best product that's needed in their life. All right. So I thank y'all so much for your time, and I look forward to talking with you guys soon. Okay.